Ladies and gentlemen, aviation enthusiasts and curious minds alike, welcome to the thrilling mini-series that will take you soaring through the skies called What Makes This Plane Great? In this episode, we're going to talk about the American twin-engine bomber, the Martin B-26 Marauder. So, before I talk about what makes this bomber great, let's get the negatives out the way first. Yes, there are problems with the B-26 early on. It was a hard plane to fly with high stall and landing speeds, and it also wasn't successful as a low-level attack aircraft. But what's great about the B-26 Marauder was, despite all that, it went on to become a much-used and successful aircraft. One great thing about the B-26 Marauder was that it was a pretty innovative aircraft at the time it was built, an aircraft of many firsts. It was the first plane of World War II to have four-bladed propellers, the first to use self-sealing fuel tanks, the first to use electrically operated turrets, first to have an all-plexiglass nose, first to have an electric bomb release system, the first aircraft of the Second World War to use weapon pods, among many other firsts. A couple great things about the B-26 Marauder was that it was a very rugged and well-armed bomber with two Pratt & Whitney R2800 radial engines that was used in nearly all the major campaigns the Americans fought in. They were used in Operation Torch, where they did suffer heavy losses in the low-level attack role, so they were switched to medium-level attacks instead, which was a role it would perform very well in. So yeah, the B-26 proved to be effective in the medium-level role. It was in this role they provided crucial aid for Allied advances in both the invasions of Italy and Sicily, and when flying medium-altitude raids with sufficient fighter escort, they proved to be very accurate and deadly. B-26 Marauders supported ground forces in the lead-up to D-Day, even knocking out V-1 Doodlebug launch sites in the process, and they were also used in the Battle of the Bulge. Another great thing about the B-26 Marauders were that they could be used in a number of different roles, including reconnaissance, anti-shipping, mine-laying, pathfinding, and a handful were used in night sorties. Earlier B-26s had a shackle on the belly so they could carry and drop torpedoes, and a few B-26 torpedo bombers were used in the Battle of Midway. In Midway, they unsuccessfully launched their torpedoes against Japanese carriers, but they did kill a couple of Japanese sailors on one of the carriers and even shot down a Zero with its machine guns. A couple other great things I'll mention about the B-26 Marauder were that they would be used by multiple air forces, including by us British when they would replace Bristol Blenheims in Egypt, the South African Air Force, and the Free French Air Force used them following Operation Torch. And one Marauder under the name Flakbait completed 207 missions, getting shot at and damaged many times, including returning on one engine multiple times, surviving a massive engine fire, having its electrical system knocked out multiple times, and even losing its hydraulic system, yet it survived the war and still survives today. The last great thing I'll say about the B-26 Marauder was that despite problems early on, it became a successful medium bomber, with B-26s of the 9th Air Force having the lowest loss rate on missions by any American aircraft in Europe. And that's it for this thrilling journey through the skies. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my aviation content, etc. Check out the two videos at the end, all my CD reviews, or even the playlists I've created. Cheers.